What's going on, guys? It is Taicowhite here for a deck profile for Team Card Fighters United, and this time we're going to be making a Mega Colony deck profile. Personally, my favorite clan there is, actually. Everybody always thinks I'm weird, but I tell them this, but it is. This is going to be mostly a machining deck with, I think, only one card that is non-machining. So, let's get into this. First off, we have Machining Little B, which I'm not going to explain its effect yet because it has no purpose until we get to a card later, so I'll just hold off on that. We're going to run 4 heal of Machining Bombyx, and then 12, yes you heard me, 12 Machining Cicada. You're probably thinking, Taiko, you can't do that, that's against the rules. Well, actually, Machining Cicada has an effect that allows you to have up to 16 cards named Machining Cicada in a deck. And now you're probably thinking, Taiko, why would you have 16 of that same card? That's stupid. And you would be possibly right. Doing it anyway. Well, I wanted to run stands, just stands, and crits anyway. And Machining Cicada is a machining, so if I need to counterblast a machining card, but I don't think I need to in this deck. But if I make the other machining deck, I think I do. But yeah, in case you have to counterblast the machining, or when you put this out onto your rear guard, for that turn, it's a 7k. So, yeah, just an easy 7k booster to get out, I guess. Just in case you are desperate. So yeah, we're going to be running 12 of that. Don't get to say that much. Next up is Machining Cassius. I believe I'm saying that name right. And it has an effect to whenever it boosts a Vanguard, or whenever its attack hits a Vanguard when it boosts a machining, you get to stun one of the rear guards. And stunning is, I believe, a Mega Colony only thing. Stun is when your opponent's unit, once rested, if the unit's rested, it cannot stand during its next stand phase. So say you hit them, you get to pick one of the rear guards. Say you pick their starting Vanguard. That's right behind their starting Foreigner Vanguard, that's right behind their what they have now. Maybe it has an effect or something when it hits. If it's already rested when you activate that effect and you point it at that, it's not going to stand. So you're good for the next turn. You can also stun a lot of units to make it where they have to either just let it sit and not use it, or they have to replace it, which is going to deplete their hand. So I'll run 4 of that just because I believe it is a good card. I also run 4 Machining Hornet with actually the exact same effect as, not the exact same, but a similar effect to Machining Cicada. You can't have 16 of this, sadly, but it does have, for when it's placed onto your Vanguard circle, if you have a machining in your soul, it gets plus 3,000 power, which is just nice to have. 10k beater, first turn, just early game, helps. Late game too if you need it. I run 1 Machining Locust because there was a 1 space left over at the end, and I'm just like, well, I might as well put some, because you know I have to. So I'll put that. And it's a good card. Just 7k. And whenever you put on the rear guard, you can discard 1, draw 1 if all of your opponent's rear guards and Vanguard are rested. And I also just run 4 Paralyzed Madonna Perfect Guard. You know how it works. Next up, we move on to Grade 2s. Starting off on the Grade 2s, we have Machining Armor Beetle. What Machining Armor Beetle, if I can say it correctly, does is whenever it's placed on the rear guard or Vanguard, you can pay the cost, which is to move one of your other machining rear guards to the soul. And you get to pick one of your opponent's rear guards, and it can't stand next turn. 4 of that. This is Machining Mantis. We run 4. It is the exact same thing as Machining Hornet, just Grade 2 with 2,000 more power. It has the exact same effect. Next, we have the annoying Machining Papilio. Papilio? Oh, Papilio. That's how you say it. But whenever you play Machining Papilio, when you put it on a rear guard circle, you get to stun one of your opponent's rear guards. I kept doing this to my friend. Not my friend. Yeah, he's my friend. He's my friend. I met him yesterday, whatever. We're playing. And he got the crap annoyed out of him because I kept spamming these 2 and that. And everything was stunned. And then it led up to this next card, the Grade 3s, which is 4 Unrivaled Blade Rogue Cyclomatus, which is the Mega Colony Break Ride, and the only card in the deck that is not machining. But whenever you ride on top of it, your Vanguard will get 10,000 power until the end of turn. And you get to rest all of your opponent's rear guards and their vanguard, and they cannot stand during the opponent's next stand phase. Also, if all of their rear guards and vanguard are rested, you get plus 2,000 power when you attack. Okay, it's not when you attack, but that's your turn. It's a your turn thing. You know what I'm saying? Which is really good effect. Also, my favorite card ever, and it combos so well with this, is Machining Stag Beetle. Machining Stag Beetle does is when it's placed on the Vanguard circle, choose 2 Mega Colony cards with Machining in the card name from your soul, call them to separate rearguard circles as rest, and increase this unit's power by the effect until the end of turn. Okay, so what you would do, you're at Limit Break. You have Cyclomatus. On top of Cyclomatus, you break ride Stag Beetle. That means you get 10,000 power from Cyclomatus onto your Stag Beetle. And all of your opponent's rear guards are now at rest and cannot stand next turn. The rear guards and vanguard. You get to pick 2 cards from your soul with Machining and call them. Usually, I always am going to have Machining Hornet and Machining Mantis. Just what I generally go for to try to have at the time. But with his effect, you have a decent chance of having Papillo or another Machining Mantis, which means at most, so far what I've got to be at most, at one turn, this thing by itself would be 38,000 power. But the 2 rear guards you call, I don't think I explained that very well. My bad. You pick 2 rear guards from your soul with Machining, and you call them to separate rear guards at rest. He gains their added original power. You're thinking they're at rest, so you can't really do anything with them. But that is actually where Machining Little B comes in. It has an act effect. And the act effect is, you probably know, can only be activated on your main phase. All that just went down is still your main phase. Everything just happened. Use Little B, put it into your soul to stand up Machining Mantis, and it'll gain 3,000 power. It already gains 3,000 from its effect from being called into the rear guard. So if you could get both of these 2 out, that would be 1, you stun something, 2, he gets power, you stand him, and he's at 15 by himself. It's good. And your opponent goes their next turn, they can't stand anything, so they have to ride and call a bunch of stuff if they want to do that, or they just skip their turn. So either way, you either deplete their hand, or they just don't attack you. So either way, you're in a good position. And that is going to be it for this deck profile. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for deck profiles or matches you want to see, let me know in the comment section. I'll see what I can do about that. This has been Taicowhite for Team Card Fighters United, and I'll see you guys next time.